The moment that I got the opportunity to create my own hotel, I said, I will not do it the way that the market is doing it. Why to copy things that everybody else is doing?
Nah-Dja has opened 11 hotels, turning 3 of these openings to the #1 on TripAdvisor. How you did that?
I honestly have been thinking a lot about it. I think it's a combination of many things.
What's up, hospitality? Every hotelier wants to increase their average daily rate, the ADR. To do that, the tech industry is screaming AI at everyone's face. We need better tools to calculate better pricing strategy. We need to follow events and competitor monitoring, real-time data, adjusting pricing, and so forth. All super, super important. But how about product? Or at least the public perception of your product via online reputation. A study from Cornell University in New York showed that 1% improvement on online reviews corresponds to an increase of 1.42% profitability. And why is that? Hang on, today we'll be talking about working culture and why happy associates, a happy team, translates into success and profitability, why the work culture matters when hiring, and why hospitality struggles with it. And of course, a step-by-step on how you can start to solve this. But first, my name is Mauricio Schiller, and you are listening to the Schulering Hub podcast, a podcast created for hospitality professionals to exchange ideas, exchange knowledge, and help independent hoteliers to improve their hotels. And today, our guest is Schulering's new advisory board and a hotel expert that will mentor us in tailoring our products to the independent hotelier. Nah-Dja, welcome back. It's awesome to have you here.
It's awesome to be here. Thank you.
Nah-Dja has opened 11 hotels, leading openings in a variety of locations around Europe and successfully turning 3 of these openings to the #1 on TripAdvisor here in Prague, which is a huge competition, is a huge market. So Nah-Dja, let's just talk a little bit about you and how you did that.
Well, thank you for inviting me for this podcast. I really appreciate it. I honestly have been thinking a lot about it. How did I do that? And I think it's a combination of many things, but one of the biggest things is the culture that I was able to create into my hotels. I am a very specific person. I get very detail oriented, but I really wanted to have a culture that basically breeds, you are welcome. It breeds, I want to spoil you rotten in my hotel. And all that culture was absorbed by people that joined me. And we were, as a team, able to get to that point that we were really able to spoil our guests. And once your guests are happy and spoiled, positively spoiled, the reviews just come in. And you know, the TripAdvisor is driven by reviews. And yeah, the more reviews, if you outpace the market, yeah, you just keep on climbing.
And when you say that, like, it's funny because we've been talking a lot later, right? We've been playing padel together, having coffees, having dinners, discussing a lot of hospitality. And that's what you just said about, I've been trying to figure it out what happened, how I've done that. And basically culture came very, very late in that realization, didn't it? Like,
correct.
Just a couple of weeks ago that you told me, like, Mauricio, I think that was culture. And what did make you realize that?
Well, you know, if you make a hotel for the first time in your life, you go through the career of washing dishes, and then I go up and you be a waiter, and then you grow up and you be a food and beverage manager, and suddenly you're a general manager of a hotel, which is my career. The moment that I got the opportunity to create my own hotel, I said, I will not do it the way that the market is doing it. Why to copy things that everybody else is doing? It didn't make any sense to me. So I actually put a lot of myself into it. And I was thinking for many, many years that, you know, it's just related to me. I'm this crazy guy that, you know, is getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and pressing 20 liters of fresh orange juice because that's what the guests want. But only when we started our discussion together, I realized that to be able to spoil people, you need to spoil guests, you need the right people around you. And I really wanted people that I really wanted to work with. Yeah, I always said it, and we had it in an earlier podcast as well. If I fall in love with the people that I interview, that's a good sign. And not romantically fall in love, but like, wow, this is an interesting person. I want to work with that person because the mission at the end is to make people happy. Yeah, they want to sleep, but at the same time, they want to go home. It's like, I don't know what happened, but this hotel was amazing. And that culture from the beginning, it was always embedded in what I did. And that was just, yeah. And when you started to talk about it, that's really when it started to click into my head that, yeah, the culture and then my happiness at work that I wanted to put into the mix, all of that helped to make those hotels successful.
What I found very interesting about that realization is that you've been part of that. You just mentioned the happiness at work, which is a 10-year-old event that happens in Prague where people discuss that and try to find a better work environment for the associates, right? And you are all involved that you are very passionate about people, very empathic, and you really do want to see people happy around you, regardless if they are a guest or not. And it took you, even you, that long to realize that what you were doing into the hotels was creating a culture inside the hotel. You, as a general manager, is squeezing orange juices 4 o'clock in the morning because the guests want to just show and create that culture that like, wow, if the general manager is doing that to spoil the guests, I need to step up and do the same. And when you are hiring people to talk to you, and you choose the right people, the ones that don't want to wear a suit and a tie, as you said to Max the last time. I hope that you're not wearing a suit and a tie here. And this really creates that culture where like, that's me. I am being hired because that's who I am, right? And we create that culture. And I think that's really important for hoteliers to understand that building of a culture translates in profitability because translates in a better product where everyone is happy and everyone can serve better. Just to connect that, there was an article, and I'll put all the articles and everything that we're going to talk about today. I'll put the links on the notes here. But there was an article from Muhammad on the Hospitality Network that the strong correlation between happy associates, guest satisfaction, and profitability. So exactly what we're talking about. If you create that environment of where people are happy, you translate that in profits. How did it happen in your hotels?
The journey that I went through, opening up my first hotel where I was the boss of the hotel, it was a collaboration with many people. And one idea goes to another idea. Making a hotel where the owner said, all your crazy ideas are, I call them crazy, but all the ideas are welcome. I said, okay, I would like people that work with me to wear not uniforms, because a lot of people, they are not themselves when they wear uniforms. So we started the cooperation with 𝐡𝐨. Yeah, 𝐡𝐨 was dressing us, so we wore jeans and t-shirts and accessories and scarves, and it was not always the most practical, because when you wear a nice dress, but also your job description allows or tells you that you need to take the dirty laundry outside. Sometimes it was not the best way, but it somehow created a culture that, okay, this is a different place, and I wanted to hire different kind of people. So when I put my first advertisement ever to recruit, it read, do you want to have some fun with Nah-Dja? And that already attracted different kind of people because, yeah, I want to have some fun. And that team of the first hotel that I ever did, it was difficult because the construction was delayed. I hired already everybody. And then I had to tell them, I'm sorry, but I am not able to work with you for another maybe 2 months. And the crazy thing was that every single person that I hired waited those 2 months to be able to join the hotel. And yeah, that created a culture. And what helps is that when you need to take out the garbage after everything is delivered in your hotel, and you basically all of the people that work in the hotel jump on the container to get as much in the container as possible with a bottle of wine on the side street, that helps to create a culture where everybody says, okay, we're in this together, and let's move on.
And now you said something super interesting that is what we're going to explore today, because what I believe is our last guest, I'll just return that, because our last few guests that we had here in the podcast all repeated the same sentence. Hiring by purpose. Hotel should have a purpose. Hotel should have a mission. Should know why the hotel exists. But this sometimes seems to be quite cloudy statement for hoteliers, because most of the hoteliers just think, well, we are an accommodation place, right? People come here to sleep and explore the city around them. But that perception is changing a little bit into the guests, but not only the guests, the associates as well, the people that work your teams. They are not just looking for a job so they can bring money home and support their families. Now they are looking for a job that fulfill them, a job that they can wear the uniform, even if it's not a uniform, but they can actually speak to people and say, like, I wear this brand, that I'm part of this company. And this change of mindset is really important to talk and vocalize that to hoteliers, mainly the independent ones, to understand that there is a change in the way that people behave and what people are expecting. And the hardest thing right now is, how can you word that? How can you actually explain your culture and hire the right people? You said that you put an ad, you want to work with Nah-Dja, come here. Maybe things change a little bit from now. What are your views on that type of hiring culture? You have a young daughter that is graduating now from a hospitality school and probably will get to that phase of recruiting or finding a job. What is her thoughts on that, and what's your expectations?
You know, COVID changed a lot of things, Mauricio. Okay, you're talking about my daughter. It makes me feel really young. But the purpose of what you are doing, and why would you join an independent hotel, even a chain hotel, that is the thing that is, I think, really getting the most importance. You see it not only in hotel business, but also in other businesses, that people start to work on this culture. And they start to say, hey, if you come and work for us, this is what we are standing for. And it's not anymore. I am, from an era where there were too many people that want to work in hotel business, or in horeca, as we say in Holland, the hotel, restaurants and cafes. And that those times are over. It's struggling to find the right people. So if you have a mission and you have a value that you want to share with the world, Joy, my daughter, she definitely would like to go somewhere where there is purpose driven. So that really makes a lot of sense right now. Yeah.
If I would, like, from the articles, from my research here, I got some from Faster Capital as well, an article saying higher rates enhancing average daily rate through guest satisfaction. Another link from Hospitality Network, and this is from Cloudbeds, reputation pricing, using your reputation to increase your rates. So what causes that is an increase of perceived value when you have higher rates. Of course, whoever is buying think that they are buying something more expensive because they have higher rates. There is increase of demand and occupancy, of course, because you are on the top of the search. You can offer premium prices because of your exceptional experience that you are offering as well. You have more repeated business because people are enjoying, so when they return, they know where to stay. Of course, opens a whole new door for upselling and cross-selling with partners. So there's a whole spectrum of opportunities that a better reputation brings, and investing in your people is probably the first and most important step today when it's so hard to find people in general. So let's talk about how tech companies are trying to hire right people that fits culturally. Even though it's corporates, they are already using that, and it's called the cultural deck. And it's funny that not a lot of people in hospitality know about what cultural deck is, but in the tech world, it's a basic thing. So it's basically just a PowerPoint where the company is introducing their mission, their values, how it is to work in that space, what the employee will get, what are the expectations, the work environment, the staff room, how the meals work. So it can be from one little presentation of one page and can go to 180 pages. People can go really, really crazy on that. In hospitality, we don't explore because this is a very powerful tool that the hotel can vocalize what it is, the experience of working in that place, and starting attracting the right people there. In your places, you never created such a cultural deck. You just made a face-to-face interaction, didn't you, Ned?
Correct. But obviously, when you put an advertisement in the newspaper, that was my first ever recruitment, and it says, do you want to have some fun? You want to wear diesel? I also was at that moment looking for bell girls and not bell boys, for people that help me. it already says something. So maybe a little bit culturally in my way, but I did not have a big presentation that I was able to give to the team that hired me. That was a personal contact when I was explaining of what I wanted to do.
Sorry to interrupt. If you're enjoying this show and if you're learning something new today, please consider following the show, subscribe to our channel, or leave us a review. It helps us to help more people through the podcast, and it would mean the world to us. Thank you for listening, and we're back on the chat. Right, and you just mentioned something super valuable, I think, here, because you said that you posted in a newspaper, right? So it was a time that people would look for jobs in a newspaper, and if you have a different type of calling there, something that would be very standing out in that page, you would get the attention of the ones that really like the style. But today, there was a post from last week, actually, from John Carpenter. He's from 𝐡𝐨𝐭𝐞𝐥'𝐬 Hospitality, which is a recruiting company from Cleveland. And he was saying that the hiding reason businesses struggles to hire. And one of the points is that people are not scrolling their phones to look for the best opportunity that is. Right? They are either going directly to the brand that they want to work with, or they are looking for the right thing that will call their attention, right? So they kind of know, so they don't spend time. And what John said, because that's his living, right? He's hiring people to work in hospitality. And what he says is that most hotels just reactive. They are reactive. So when someone leaves, they go to the market to find someone to replace. They just write a quick job description. They post that and they expect that people will come and apply for the job. And when people don't apply, they just blame there are no one available. There's nobody available. And what John is saying is, no, there's a whole pool of people looking for jobs. They just don't get attracted by the ad that you're posting. They just don't see any interest. It's not interesting. If you cannot sell that job to me, why would I waste my time going to spend time with you? And I think that this is a very important point with something that with Cultural Deck can help in what hospitality lately has been struggling to hire. We are not selling the jobs. We are not having that mindset of, okay, now I'm in the need. So I need to sell myself to recruit the right people instead of being just passive here, writing anything and hoping that the right people will come to me and we're going to have a happy life. And when we say that, of course, I will make a direct link to what we are building here with Schulering, Nah-Dja, because that's the whole idea we had about creating a personalized cultural deck. What I think that about the cultural deck with the tech companies compared to hospitality is that a PowerPoint on a website that you look, it's not personal, right? It works for tech people, works for IT. I believe that when it comes to hospitality, you need a little bit of a more human element there. We need something that will really attach, will really call their attention. And the way that we are seeing that with Schulering is by creating a cultural deck that looks like a course with photos, with everything, but it's personalized. It calls their name. And the way that we will create that is by interviewing, just as we're doing now, as we have the podcast. We don't need to post the podcast, but we can have a little interview with the general manager or the HR manager and talk to them and get them to speak about their mission, the history of that hotel, get the GMs to sell that property to the people. They can sell to us in Schulering as we record, and then we can turn that into a very dynamic, very personalized cultural deck that they can have the link, and the candidates, when they apply for the job, they can just click in the link, learn everything, and complete a form that will get to the hoteliers. So they know that that person already learned about this hotel and heard the energy, heard what that general manager has to say, and also applied because it concluded by completing that form. So I am interested in working in this place. What do you think about that, Nah-Dja? Do you think that if it was your hotel, would you use that technology?
Well, one of the reasons why I joined Schulering is to advocate what we are currently discussing, because a lot of big hotel chains, they have the technology and they have the platforms to do all of this. But the independent hotels, they don't have this. It is way more difficult to actually spend the time, spend the money, and do everything professionally all the time. So yes, I do believe in it. And I love how it all interacts, because at the end, if you recruit the right people, that's already one step. But once you have the right people, you need to train them properly. They need to get the knowledge that you have already. And I am not a very big fan to train people over and over and over again. I prefer to train them once or have a course that people can access. And then through the course, if they decide to move on, I have some people that I had in my team. They went to way better jobs afterwards. And it always made me happy. But once I need to fill that position again because somebody went to a better job or they had a better opportunity in their career, great. If my stepstone was towards that, I can only be proud. But once I need to recruit, I would love the culture deck. I would love to be ready for, okay, we hired now the right person, but the right person needs to be trained. And once the person is in the job, all the operating procedures that you have in the hotel, they need to have access to that as well. And with Schulering, we are touching on all of it. So wrong question, right answer. Of course, I love it.
No, I'm pretty excited what this cultural deck can do, because basically we can really help the independent hotelier to sell themselves. Because in a conversation, as we are doing now, as we are just discussing now, and ideas flow because we get passionate about what we do, and ideas flow in much easier way that if you are alone with a camera trying to explain what the mission of your mission, your values, and your history is, it's really difficult. I cannot do it. And even with the podcast, I
know you tried. I know you tried.
I tried and I cannot do it. I think that is really hard to speak to a camera. I like to have that conversation, and I think that hoteliers can enjoy that and can use and leverage that conversation to put their energy to sell what they have to me or to you or to whoever they are talking to, and put that passion to sell, because we can embed that video into that cultural deck, and whoever is going through the rules and everything and the history and getting excited will also learn how it is to work with this general manager, how passionate this person is about the job. And please, if you are not passionate about your job, if you don't like what you do, and if your hotel is just really bads and heads and bads and that's it, that's okay. We respect you. But I don't think that we are in the same type of business. We are in the hospitality, we are in the service, and purpose is really important. And maybe you are in the accommodation business, and then you can automate everything and maybe get what they are calling in America the vending machine hotels, where you just automate everything, press a button, and maybe it will work. At some point, just realize that you will have a huge competition, and the competition will bring prices down. If you don't have service, if you don't have the human element there is nothing that you can do to increase your ADR, your average daily rate.
I also think, Mauricio, that there is a place for everything. You know, the fact that maybe in the past, and I wouldn't have to read up on it, but you had, a hotel and maybe 2 or 3 standards in hotel. Nowadays, with the Airbnbs and the platforms where people just are able, without any interaction whatsoever, to go in, everybody has a place for it. At the end, the understanding of what your market is, who are my clients, recruit the right people to actually serve your guests in your hotel. This is the business that we are in. And that is very exciting, because there is, and I see it with my daughter as well, there's lots of young people that really want to, to be part of a culture, to be part of something special. And if you are able to get that, then you get very passionate people as well. So, yeah.
And Nah-Dja, we are coming to a close here. So I just want to say that I'm very excited, because we're going to repeat this exercise. In the past, we used just to talk to consultants, but it's always great. We're going to bring a lot of great consultants here, teaching a lot this year. We also creating courses from the podcast that we have already recorded. So whoever has access to our platform will be able to learn from our consultants as well. And as we feed this platform, we're going to sit down more here to discuss a little bit of hospitality and see how Schulering can help the independent hoteliers to improve their services, improve their places, and make their hotels a happy place to work. I think that in the end of the day, this all purpose-driven talk and all this mission, all these values that we speak about, there is only one goal, that is to find people that will be happy at the workplace, will be happy working, happy serving, and then we get happy guests when they see that happy, honest, happy smile.
Cool. No, this whole journey with 𝐡𝐨𝐭 is quite amazing. You know, I'm a hotel consultant, you know, by heart now. The recruitment and the happiness at work has always been part of me, but there is a whole bubble around it. If you recruit people, but you have no idea about costs or anything else, there's a whole bubble where all the consultants that we are now talking to come in. And that whole ecosystem of knowledge, that makes a lot of sense to me. And that is also one of the reasons why I think, you know, working together with you and our team makes right now the most sense. Let's teach the people what to do. Let's recruit the right people. Let's do all of that in one platform. And yeah, I'm looking very much forward to the near future. So
let's bring hospitality to be a great place to work. And what I think that's very important as well, help these independent hoteliers to improve their businesses, close the gap with the bigger ones, the big luxury corporates and everything that they've been buying and incorporating to their businesses now. Because by helping the independent hoteliers, we also help with the destination reputation, right? If you stay in the Four Seasons here, or if you stay in the hotel hole in the wall, you're going to have a very different experience about Prague, and you will tell people around you a different way of how Prague looks like, how the people in Prague behave, or everything like that. So by bringing a better reputation to a destination, your profitability will also increase. If the destination has a better reputation, everyone in the industry wins. So you,
correct,
from the big corporates, please join us to help the independent hoteliers. We'll help you in our bottom line as well.
Cool.
Nah-Dja, thank you so much. Schulering, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.